Hello, welcome to Movable Soup. My name's Stuart and it's the 31st of December today, so New Year's Eve, and I've decided to set myself a bit of a challenge for January. So you probably all, if you're in the board gaming sort of realms, you've probably all seen a 10 by 10 challenge. This is where you do 10 games 10 times, and that usually is a year. I'm going to try and do that in a month. So that's going to be 100 games played in a month, which isn't impossible, but I do have to agree that the last year has been hard on my health and my own mental state. So I have neglected my hobby quite a bit. So alongside doing that and picking up some new ones with a little bit of painting, I decided to do a 10 by 10 just for January. And to make it even more a challenge, I'm going to make it the first 28 days of January. So, what 10 games am I going to pick? Well, I had a little think about it, and I need to have a nice mixture in there. I need to have something that I can play solo. So I've got a couple of solo games in there. I need something that I can play with groups to try and get myself out into board gaming groups in the local area. And I wanted to have a 2-player game in there to kind of force me to play one-on-one with families and members of family and friends. Wanted to make sure there was a nice range and it wasn't too easy. So I've got some things that, you know, a game of would only take 10-15 minutes, when I've got others that will take maybe a couple of hours. So there's a nice little mix and blend in there. So without further ado, here are the 10. The first one is Royal Limited. So this is Scott Helm's one of his newer solo games. And in this, nice 18 card mini game from Button Shy. And in this, you are organising the Royal Limited, which is a train, and you have to arrange these cards. Some of them will be carriages and some of them will be people, and you have to have them so that colours aren't touching and numbers aren't touching. So there's a big puzzle game to it, and you've got a time restriction on there as well, and you've also got 2 cards that act as VIPs, which need special requirements to be able to place them into the carriages. It kind of gives me kind of a similar vibe to his previous game, which is Fabled Fishes. Fishing Lessons, sorry. Fabled Fish is the expansion. Fishing Lessons. So it's kind of got that same thing where you've got to try and work out what order you're going to put things in to maximise getting your VIPs in. Depending on how many cards you've got left in your hand depends on how well you did. The idea is to have nothing left. That's the first game, and that's the solo game. Okay. Next, you got In Dreams. Now I picked this up because I wanted to get into solo journaling a little bit, and there are quite a few solo journaling projects out there, but a lot of them are need more equipment, need more time, need more preparation stuff. In Dreams is basically a deck of cards, and you use these cards to lay out a dreamscape and what you are trying to achieve during this dream, including some gorgeous imagery as well, very dreamscape-like. So I'm going to be giving that a go. So there's going to be 10. I might chuck up some of the solo journeys I make along with the card illustrations just to show you how that works, but that is that, and that's from Side Room Games. Okay, so 2 down. Third one, I've only brought this bit down because this is Final Girl. So Final Girl, this is only the core box here. You need to have a feature film box as well on the side. I have got all of Season 1 and Season 2 and all the deluxe Defy things to go with it. I played it a little bit during October, I think. No, October, November when it came, and I put a few up on my YouTube channel. but I want to give this game a lot more love, especially now that Season 3 is coming out. So I'm going to be playing 10 games of this, and I might, instead of trying to do scenario games, I'll just have a random playthrough, because the scenarios do seem to be a lot more trickier in the long term. So I might just try and play it on a sort of randomly normal setting, and I'll try and shuffle in as many of the different feature boxes, and I'll also talk about the game, its components, and all its add-ons and expansions. So that'll be quite a nice little thing to feature on the channel in general. It's a very popular game, and that's Fanroder Games. Next game is Witchcraft. Okay, so Witchcraft, Salt and Pepper Games. So this is kind of a reskin, but it's actually got mechanics changed of, I think it's called Revolt, which is where your French Liberation, I think your French Revolution team during the war. This one just bases around a coven of witches and a town. Got this, and basically I've opened it, and that's about it. I haven't really looked into it a lot. I just love the art and the artwork and the box. And like most of the Kickstarters I take up, I'm attracted by the concepts and stuff, and I try not to delve too deeply into all like the community run process and so on and so forth, purely because I want this to be something that I discover on my own. So that's one. That's a solo game. So that's already my 4 solo games already taken care of out of the 10. So that's that. And then we've got After Us by Clash of Games. Now I really enjoy deck building games in general. This is one that, if you have watched the channel, this is one I got in my Xatu mystery box when I went to XatuCon. Again, I've opened it, sorted out all the components, just haven't played it yet. This one, you are a tribe of primates, and you're trying to set up a world after ours has ended, and there is using some of our old-fangled technology in there as well. But this one is also 1 to 6. So I might solo play this, but this is the idea. This is one that's primarily down for being go out and find a group and see if I can get to that 6-player count. That's that one. Okay, I'm going to skip that one for a second because that one's needs a bit more explaining than this one does. Philosophy. So this is Quality Beasts game. This is 2 to 4 because I've got the expansions that allow you to play 3 and 4 player as well. But it primarily is a 2-player game, and it's probably how I'm going to be playing it. This is a game. It's a Connect 3 game. You've got a board, which is a 3x3, and then there's on every side there's another 3x3, and you're placing tiles in the middle 3x3, and it's meant to be having a conversation about philosophy and stuff. And each tile has a symbol on the outer ring saying which tile of your opponent's it affects, and in the centre how it affects it. So you put a tile down, it can push a tile, and then by that tile pushing, it moves another tile, which is that kind of like heightened thought process of philosophy. So if something happens, you can have loads of chain reactions. And it's either the first to get 3 in a row, in a column, or horizontally, in that middle 3x3, or the first person that fills it up, meaning the other player cannot go. So that one's going to be nice and fun. I wanted to pick something more family oriented as I've got 2 kids and I've got Trekking Through History. So this is quite a nice little game. I do like the Trekking series. It's Underdog Games. I do like the Trekking series because there's a little bit of education underneath it. So this is taking periods in time you're hiring out a time machine for a holiday, and you've got 3 days to travel through time, but you've got to travel through time in order, earliest to latest date on each day, and you're trying to get through and look at you've got like an itinerary which is in the colours that you see here, and you're trying to get so many of this and so many of this done in one day. But the back of the cards is where the fun is. The back of the cards has information on what that historical thing in time was, which is really good for a nice little readout and piques your curiosity on things like that. So that's going to be one I'm going to thoroughly enjoy getting out. This also is one of the best kind of commercial releases. This is well produced, well packaged and stuff, and I will be showing you that when I do an unboxing like I will with all the other ones. But this is a very high quality product just on its own value, on its own merit. Okay, now the new for Christmas section, and again one to see if I can get more players around the table, is the Fox Experiment with the 5 and 6 player expansion. This is Primasaurus Games. This is again another semi-educational game. This is about the experiments that are done on foxes to breed and breed out things they didn't want. And it plays over 5 generations, so each pair of foxes has their cubs, their children, and then you can use the children to make more cubs and stuff. And with more players around the table, there's more choice and variety because you get to take other players' foxes and use them. So if you're first in the order on that turn, you can pick up 2 really good partners. A pair of foxes that would really do a good job of winning you the game. So yeah, again, that is the trying to get more people around the table jobby. We've had a play of it to kind of learn. The stacks got a bit too high and a bit too wobbly because I've started with the small games first. Yeah, we had a play with it, trying to get through the rules, clarifications and stuff like that. Did a couple of things wrong the first time round, but my partner really enjoyed it. So we're looking to get more of those games in. And as I said, it'll be 10 in January. Number 9. So this is one thing I'm going to keep. If I do this ever again, I would probably stipulate that I'm always going to have a very campaign-ran game. So this is Sleeping Gods Primeval Peril. This is Red Raven Games. This is the official release of a print and play that was made whilst the second Sleeping Gods game was being made. So this prequels the first one. So the plan is to play this for 10 games, like with everything else, but there's a little stipulation on this. If this finishes, I will run on into Sleeping Gods. Purely because, I don't want to have... This is not really a game you'd really replay as such. And I'll be going through it trying to get through the most storyline and content possible in those 10 plays. And finally, I picked a game that I really enjoyed playing last year. This was close to when my personal and physical and mental health kind of started to decline a little bit. But this is a game that I did really enjoy. And I was going to make so much content for it, but as things happened, it never came to fruition. So now it's going to come to fruition. This is Tamashii. So this is a bag building cyberpunk style game where you are able to inhabit I suppose it'd be robots, cyborgs, whatever the right term is. And you are able to essentially never die. You can just hop into another body and stuff. And there is a bit of that in the game where you can change the body you're in to get more benefits. But it's the mechanism that really I enjoy, because you've got a bag with tokens in and you put them onto a tray, which is your programming tray, and you put them so you end up having to slide them like a sliding puzzle into certain combinations to get things to happen. Storyline's really intriguing. This isn't campaign, this is scenario based. I've played it obviously single player and 2-player. I again would like to get this one out on the table. Yeah, and definitely do a lot of content on it, because this is a very nice box of goodies. So yeah, so there are my 10 games I am going to try and play 10 times during January to kickstart myself back into the hobby and to start 2024 a little bit more fresh-faced and a little bit more enjoyable, and feeling a lot more positive, hopefully. So watch out for that content that will be going up on Instagram, Facebook, going through the process of getting a WordPress site set up, and there are plans in the future for other little bits and bobs, but at the moment it's just getting the groundwork in. This year is going to be more about building the channel and trying to show you the most I can, and trying to keep that pace going as the year goes on. So start off January nice and strong, and hopefully, like every other person on in January, I won't crap out in 7 days or so. Here's to seeing it, how it goes. So, yeah, I've been Stuart from Maple Soup Reviews. Hope you have a wonderful end of the year and a happy new year, and I'll see you next time.